Right. I think are we live? I can't see that. That would be useful if I could. But I can't tell if we're live or not. Oh, I think we are. Yep, we've got one viewer. That definitely means we're live. Fantastic. Well, that's handy. So, welcome to the second guitar lesson from the Buskers. Beginners guitar lessons. So it should be fine for anybody. It's been quite an interesting one. I've seen a couple of posts on Facebook. People saying, "Oh, I wish I'd learned an instrument when I was younger." It's never, ever too late to start learning. Make a decision. Pick up a guitar. Get yourself one ordered. And tune in. We're saving all these lessons to the Buskers page. So they're going to be here indefinitely. You'll always be able to use them. So, right, we're going to start off by having a quick look at what we did last week. And the first thing we need to do is make sure our guitar's in tune. So, first note is the thick one here, and that's the E string, and that sounds like this. Remember to either tighten or loosen to make it higher or lower, and get that thick string sounding like this. The next string is an A string. Again, tighten or loosen that to make that sound like that. If you've got an electronic tuner, that's fantastic. Yep, I'm all good there. Next string is the D string. Just need to tighten that ever so slightly on mine, and that should sound something like that. So there we go, that's all good there. Next one is no sniggering please at the back, the G string. And that should sound like that, we're all good there. Next one after that, the B string, the second thinnest one. Bit like Tony and the Buskers, that one. He's the second thinnest in the Buskers. And then the thinnest one right at the bottom or top, depending on your perspective. And that's the E string again. And that should sound broadly similar to that one. So there you go. So our guitar should now be in tune. And that doesn't sound too bad. Now, we're going to take a quick look at the chords that we looked at last week. And there was some confusion, I think, with the diagrams that I put on the on screen about some people perceiving whether they're upside down or not. The reason they go like that is if you look at any guitar music, they try and place the chords as you would see them as you fret the notes. So if we take that G chord, we learned that this week. We're going to go over this again, just if anyone's joining us this week. That's a G chord. Now, if I look down at it, this is the finger that I see first, then that one and that one. So your G chord, as you look down, should look something like that. Okay, so you'll see the thickest string is at the top there, and that's your G chord. So that finger there, first finger on the second fret, next three strings are open, and then because your top and bottom strings are the same note, they need to be on the same fret for this chord anyway. So that's our G chord. We're going to whip over and change that to a C chord now, which looks like this and sounds like that. So again, this finger on the third fret, this finger on the second fret of the D string, open string there for the G string, no sniggering, and this finger here, index finger on that first fret there. And there we go, that sounds a bit like that. And the last chord that we looked at last week was the chord of D, which should look something like that. So an open, we're only going to be concentrating on playing the bottom four strings for this one. So an open D string. If you can see what I'm playing there. Then this finger, your index finger on the second fret. This finger on the 3rd fret, and then this finger here, your middle finger on the 2nd fret of that top E string there. There we go. So we've got, let's get rid of that for a second. So G string, G chord, sorry, C chord, and D chord. There we go. Now, the next thing I want to quickly chat about is just some strumming. Now, whether you do that with your finger, whether you do it with your thumb, whether you do it with a pick, like both myself and Tony do, we both use picks. We're just going to try and basically talk a little bit about strumming. Now, most of the songs that you'll listen to are what we call in 4/4 timing. That means 4 beats to a bar. So that basically means as you're clapping along, it kind of goes like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If a band starts a song, you maybe hear the drummer go 1, 2, 3, 4. Or even if you're at a number of our gigs, if you got the tambourine. Now, we have people of various skill levels, various levels of sobriety playing the tambourine at our gigs. Sometimes it works out really well. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, it sounds really atrocious. But basically, your tambourine, in its basic sense, needs to be played on the 1st and 3rd beat of the bar. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically, you should be counting in 4s to most songs, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to play 4 beats on a G, 4 beats on the C, 4 beats on the D, and then back to G. So let's see if we can do it nice and slowly. Just try and keep up with me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a great way to practice, and this gives your left hand a rest. You don't need to do anything with your left hand apart from just place it across the strings. Listen to any song that you like on the radio, and then just try and tap those 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as you get better at that, it's like tapping your foot in time. If you can tap your foot in time, you will be able to do it with practice, but just keep going. Just strum along to like deadened string, so it's if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, you maybe go up and down, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you can play with different strumming patterns. That's something you practice on your own. Obviously, the more you do it, like with anything, the better you're going to get. And then you start. And that's when you add the 2 together. You've got your chords, practice flitting between the chords there, and your strum patterns. And that's when you start to get a bit more confidence, and then we can move on. Now, as mentioned, with these 3 chords, there are a number of songs that you can play. We've got the one that we looked at very, very briefly last week. When I wake up, well, you know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. Or we've got a lot of the ones that we do with the buskers, like the Irish stuff. I've been the Wild Rover for many a year, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. Just the 3 chords there, or the I'll tell my mar when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Pulled my hair, stole my comb, well that's alright till I go home. Just the 3 chords all the way through the song, changing your rhythm, changing your dynamics, maybe play a bit softer. So we've got all those songs that we can play there, and there'll be lots, if you search on the web, there'll be lots of songs that you can play with those 3 chords. And we're going to now just put that in action for a full song. We've got a gentleman that I'm sure you'll recognise if you're on this page. My friend, colleague Tony Gilson, happy anniversary. It's his anniversary today. So if you are watching, give us a like and wish Tony a happy anniversary, please. And this is quite new because I'm actually trying to take a different feed. So hopefully it's going to work. It's going to be the right way up. You're going to see the sound. You're going to see the sound. You're going to hear the sound and everything. But Tony's going to take over and he's going to give you a masterclass on using these 3 chords, playing a song that never ever fails to get a crowd jumping up and down. Over to Tony.
Hello everybody, following on from last week's lesson from Barry, showing the 3 chords, the G, the C and the D. We said there was loads of different songs you can do with these chords, so I was going to show you one now, an Irish song that you can maybe practice playing along to get the chords. Hopefully you can see it nice and clear there. I'm trying to make it as large as I can. Here we go. On July 1806, we set sail from the cold port. We were sailing away with the cargo bricks to the Grand City Yard. Was in hell of a crash, she was great fire now. Oh, hello, when we strode over, she had 7 blasts and 27 masts, and the other the Irish rover. We had 1 million bags of the best cigarettes. We had 2 million barrels of stone. We had 3 million sides of us plain horse hides. We had 4 million barrels of oil. We had 5 million hats, 6 million hats, 7 million barrels of oil. We had 8 million bales of us 9 eagles' tails. Didn't hold on the Irish road. Hard on his foot, and the ladies went before us. He was cute to the skill with his sparkling blue, but the dancers they were closer to bed. With his sparkling top, he was hung out the wine. He rolled the things under and over. They hung after the dance, and when he took up his stance, he sailed on the Irish road. From the banks of the lake, there was holding for countries I go. There was Johnny McGurk, he was scared stiff of work, and a man from West we called Malone. There was Slugger O'Toole, and he was drunk as a mule, fighting and drinking up over. And your man, the cat from the banks of the lake, was a skipper in the Irish road. When the measles broke out and the ship lasted straight in the fall, then the way out of the blue was screeches down the tube, just myself and the captain and 2 guys. Then the ship shook her out, Lord, what a shout! Both gears turned right over. It turned around, and the full tide was drowned. It was the last of the Irish road. chords nice and easy for you. Play it back, play along with it, and practice getting between the chords. Thank you very much.
Absolutely first class, Tony. Well done. Thank you so much for doing that. Well, you can see there exactly just what you can do with just those 3 chords. You can sound that good. Basically, folks, we're going to start to take a look at 4 more chords for this week. Now, what I am going to do, I'm going to put a couple of sheets up on the page that you can actually download. I'll put them in the comments so you can come back to this video later and look at them. There will be downloadable resources to support the lessons. I've had a couple of people sort of message me. That's fine as well. If you want to message the buskers, just ask anything. If there's anything you want clarifying, then please feel free to do that. But we're going to take a look at a new chord. And that chord that we're going to look at is the chord of E. Now, E, you're playing all the strings here. So the thickest string at the bottom there, that's open. Your middle finger goes on the 2nd fret. So you're getting that kind of sound. And again, those 2 notes, if you're more interested in playing sort of rock guitar, that's all you need for that rocky sound. A bit of distortion on that, and you've got that nailed. We're going to go a bit further than that. Your finger here, your ring finger, we're going to put that underneath your middle finger. So that's on the 2nd fret as well. Your index finger or pointing finger, that's going to go on the 1st fret here. Now this is important. I'll explain why in a short moment. And then the bottom 2 strings, you just play those open. Now the beauty about this chord, that's the E major chord. Now, there are a different type of chord we're going to look at right now, and we're going to play this chord. All we need to do is take this finger off to get this kind of sound. And if you check on the screen now, take that finger off, we've got the E minor chord. So E major and E minor. And the difference between the 2 chords is basically the feel that they give to whatever song it is you're playing, or if you want to write songs, you've got your major song, which sounds quite happy and upbeat. I'm happy this morning, but if I play a minor chord, it might sound sad. But I don't want to be sad, so I'm going to a happy major chord. But I might sound sad again. And it's just a case of moving that finger. So you've got your E minor chord and E major chords that you can work on. Again, throw them in. You'll tend to find that the E minor chord works really well with those other 3 chords. We do a 60s melody medley, which uses those 4 chords, just G, E minor, C, and D. Come see, you've got quite a number of chords, basically same chord pattern. That it's the same for a number of different songs. So that E minor chord works really well with the chords that we've already learned, the G, C, and D. But play around, or if you want to do a bit of flamenco, just move this up 1 fret, so that E shape. There you go. Now, the next chord we're going to look at is the A chord. Now, I'm mentioning that because there are a couple of different ways of playing this. The way I play it, I think Tony plays it like this as well, is you're covering 2 strings with that finger. So things might get a little bit tougher there. So that finger goes on the 2nd fret, but I want the 2nd fret of the G string and the B string covered as well. Now, I do it like that. And I'm sort of covering, you can see a little bit better in that photo that I've got my middle finger covering the 2nd fret on those 2 strings. Some people prefer to use each 1 fret each like that. Just squash them all into that 2nd fret. I don't find that anywhere near as comfortable. Everyone's different. Play it the way that you think it's going to work. And again, we're going to look at the minor version of that chord. Now, the way to do that, if you remember that E shape, if you move them all up or down, each a string, it's exactly the same shape, but with an open A string. The second one from the bottom there. And the same two notes as your A string, so those three, which again, great for rock. But this time, this finger is going on the second, the first fret of that second string there, so. And this is a brilliant one. It goes beautifully with the C chord. Because we just need to move this finger. So there you go. You've got 2 extra chords there. We've got some strumming patterns. You've got a song from Tony that you can play along with if you watch this video through again. You practice your rhythms. That's all we're going to do for this week. Join us again next week, where we're going to start to look at putting some of those chords in context, look at patterns, and moving on. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. In fact, no, we won't. Hopefully, we're going to see you tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, where we're going to be putting all of these chords into action. Myself from 8 o'clock, and then join Tony from 9, all from the Buskers page. Give us a like if you don't mind. If you've enjoyed this, give us a like, give us a share, let other people know, invite your friends along, come and have a chat, have a couple of pints when the kids have gone to bed, and it'll be as near as we can get at the moment to going in a pub. Thank you very much again. Don't forget to clap for the NHS tonight. Stay safe, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow night. Ta-da.